All right. So now we got family, friends, and romantic relationships. This should be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Few types can match the strength that commanders are often. Few types can match the strength that commanders offer those they love, as their intellect, imagination, and determination can be used to support the people they're close to. And they often enjoy being such a hub in their social world. Of course, developing bonds with people can depend on how they present their energy. And these types often put minimal emphasis on emotional understanding. While they might offer solid and sincere virtues, commanders aren't always very delicate or sensitive in the way they relate to friends, family, or romantic partners.
I agree with that.
Yeah, that was one thing that, I really kind of, I think, always knew. You kind of always know certain things, but then when you read them after taking a personality test or something like this and it's reflected back at you, it's definitely something that it just confirms what you may always know have known. So,
Yeah, for sure. So relationships for this type logisticians are some of the most stable, reliable friends, partners, and parents that one can have the pleasure of knowing. Once they have made a commitment of either friendship, marriage, or parenthood, they remain loyal and devoted until the end. That's me. Companionship isn't given out freely by people with this personality type, however. Trust must be earned and intentions must be clear for logisticians to make a decision to engage in any type of relationship. Forced interaction is not ideal, but logisticians often have more success finding friends or romantic partners in the workplace or other organized places such as school, church, or sports clubs. You know what, I misunderstood the first time we read that,
okay.
and I think that does apply to me
Actually,
here.
that is where you find your friends.
Yes, because yeah, that is so true. So that is me actually, guys. So we had a little disagreement earlier. We read it once before, but now that I am reading it correctly, it makes sense. And to your point, you always say, "Oh, like." So when we first met, we used to watch. We had movie nights on Fridays together, and he will gravitate sometimes to tend to want to watch the same movie twice. And I said to myself, why? And I couldn't understand that. And then later on, he explained to me, you know what, watching movies twice, it helps you understand little bits and pieces that you missed the first time. And it's so true. This confirms it right
Yeah, you
there.
know, just reading through it again, reading
Yes.
something twice, a book, movie,
Yes.
anything. Yeah, you'll definitely catch things the second time through that you didn't the first time.
Yeah. So here we are on forced interaction is not ideal, we said that, and then regular interaction in a structured setting gives them the opportunity to observe others to see if they have enough in common to strike a relationship. Logisticians are unlikely to actively seek out friends or romantic partners outside of these institutions unless pushed by evidence and experience, as me. So due to their intensely focused nature and difficulty with emotional expression, logisticians struggle to attract potential friends or partners. Their desire to uphold at the expense of nearly everything else makes them appear cold, insensitive, and even robotic. And you did say, do you want to explain that a little better? I
Yeah,
heard
I just
you.
think it is the approach you have. I
Mhm.
think it definitely can come off as insensitive sometimes or without emotion.
Mhm.
Um, but I know you, and I know this. I know the things that you do like. But it is. I don't know if it's more like, would you say, it's much more of an analytical approach to life and dealing with
Yes.
people. It's a very straightforward, like you say, it's like this says, give me the facts, have the conversation, um, and a less emotional display. And that definitely comes out. I can definitely see that.
Okay. So logisticians, when unbalanced, may neglect to engage in any social interactions that they view as unnecessary. Romantic gestures, especially once they are in a committed relationship, may seem a waste of time. Taking a friend out for coffee just to catch up is unlikely to be something that individuals with this personality type would initiate. And that's me. Logisticians are extraordinarily considerate when it comes to meeting the basic needs of their relationships, but tend to go out of their way to avoid any superfluous activities. That said, logisticians are actually extraordinarily caring despite their tendency to avoid expressing affection. Providing for their family is the ultimate expression of their love and commitment. Maintaining reliable and consistent support is how they effectively articulate their friendship. Emotions are often seen by logisticians as unreliable and inconsistent, making them less useful in expressing how they truly feel about others. Logisticians can struggle with understanding their own and others' emotions, and this can result in misunderstandings within their relationships. Developing sound communication skills and understanding friends and partners can help even the most stoic logistician overcome some of these emotional barriers.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that, that be able to,
I was even just kind of thinking about, you know, before doing this, you've really been working on this with our daughter,
yes,
um,
definitely.
and well, with both of our children, but especially with our daughter who's younger, um, because the way a lot of times you do deliver information or messages or you talk with her, it is very straightforward,
Mm-hmm.
and you've really started to soften yourself to be a little bit more emotionally attached there, right? To
Yes.
have different, better conversations that connect with her more, and that definitely shows. Um,
And be more understanding most of all. So,
yeah, absolutely. So we'll finish up mine here with the friends and family. Is as energetic idealists, they can be deeply caring, but often unconsciously forego empathy in favor of what feels like a more rational solution, despite their best intentions. And I'll say with our kids and with our daughter, um, I tend to be very empathetic in listening to her, and I'm very
mm-hmm.
connected with her that way. But usually, my resolution of things is very rational and straightforward, right? It's
Yes,
very
I will
like, well,
agree.
this is the way
Yes,
you do it, and that's just the way you do it because that's the way it is.
right.
So I like emotionally connect,
Mm-hmm.
but then I can be very straightforward,
Yes, for sure.
and it's not real emotional resolution or I don't know what you would say it. Um,
Well, sometimes I
a
think
very
it's hard
direct
for,
way.
yeah, I think sometimes it's very hard for you to understand that she's not an adult yet.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
when it
this.
comes, when you realize after the fact, and you're like, yeah, you're right. That doesn't
Yeah. Maybe my answers don't always help her. Like they're not a real sympathetic or
empathetic, yeah.
empathetic responses. I tend to listen to her and have an emotional connection with her, but I'm not necessarily the most empathetic when it comes to helping her out.
Yes.
Uh, at times, okay, so concerned with social standing, though commanders have good reason to value others' feedback, consciously developing and utilizing emotional intelligence skills helps these types create extremely rewarding social bonds by letting them both give and receive forms of energy, of love, from love, tenderness, and joy to exuberant, witty humor and constructive criticism. When it comes to those they love, commanders' firm principles can lead them to prioritize the well being of others and stand as kind guardians.